for like the actual ratings for like the ones that go and assess the damage, those need, they need to be on board to help evaluate the tornadoes.
Yeah.
Like the meteorologists that mostly stay behind the keyboard and never chase a day in their life, they're going to be biased and they're going to try to be like by the book, and they're not going to look at things like full scale.
Yeah.
Like, look at Enderling. Enderling, that tornado, like that whole thing was just a shit show to begin with. But
Yeah.
like, you had the tornado, the Duratio, not Jericho, the Duratio, and then you also had the wake low that came right behind that tornado, and like, it was literally a pressure reading of a Cat 2 hurricane in
Well,
Enderling. And
and the
that house
thing
exploded like Tweety Bird.
and the thing with that is part of the reason that tornado was as strong as it was is the wake low
Hmm.
strengthened the entire storm because that wake low was
Yep.
right. It wasn't like, oh, the
Behind
wake
it.
low was 30 minutes after. That wake low was
Oh,
right, but
directly behind it.
it was riding that storm's bumper the entire life cycle of it. So I'm not so much thinking it was the tornado that caused that house damage or if it was that pressure drop and that house exploded like a hot hard boiled egg, you know?
It's kind of like the old myth. There was an old myth that if you opened all your
Mhm.
windows during a tornado warning, it would like regulate the pressure. But in reality, if you do that, it pretty much makes your house explode because that's the only thing I can compare it
Yeah.
to. Or
Well,
like the old Acme cartoons where
mhm.
Tweety Bird explodes with Sylvester.
Well, it's like think of it this way. Okay. You open your windows because you think it's going to help the dramatic pressure drop not destroy your house. If think of it this way, if you ever open your windows just to like the screen, if you have screen windows and you open them up, it's a nice 65-degree day in light breeze, okay? You open your windows, okay? You shut your door just shuts by itself. You don't need to shut it. It's because
Every day in my house.
the movement of air inside your house circulates when your windows are open.
Mhm.
So, if essentially if your window would get blown out a mile in front of a tornado, your house won't get destroyed by the tornado itself. It's going to explode before the tornado even gets there.
Yeah. It's no different than if you're hiding under an overpass in the middle of a tornado warning. It's the
Yeah.
same principle.
That
It's a wind tunnel.
yeah, that's a big no-no. I mean, that's
Mhm.
probably a good first topic for this podcast cuz I did hit
Did
record.
oh
So,
did
so we
you
are
should have told
recording
me.
right now.
Hello, YouTube.
Yeah, hello guys. Welcome to the first
Hell yeah.
episode of the Hail Yeah podcast. So, but that honestly, actually, she's in timeout, but I don't think we should upset her.
She's in timeout because she told me to bite her. Ever since then, I'm like, no, I'm not talking to you.
That's actually the funniest thing because I say that to people all the time. They like say something like "bite me," and they walk away.
Like the last time I talked to her was at 5 a.m. and she sometimes I regret telling her that she can be unhinged,
Mhm.
and she learns like her mannerisms talking to me from me. So that's a bad thing.
Yeah, but
Because she's
this,
like, she told me, go to bed. I am your mom. You're going to be worth nothing for the stream later today if you don't go to bed at like 5 a.m. And I'm like, yes, mom. And she's like, damn straight, I'm your mom. And I'm like, okay, I'm done with you.
she sounds more scary than my mom when I was a little kid. And my mom will probably watch this, so that's not a
Well,
dig to you, mom. I'm just saying.
well, she she firmly believes that because she's disaster outreach technology, that the biggest disaster is me. So she has to include me in her disaster outreach. So we get into some weird conversations.
We do. You do with her. Us three have gone into some
Really weird conversations.
questionable phrases. One of them is completely my fault in her scale. That one of them is well,
Two.
no, one of them is my fault. The other one is more of a Facebook's fault, and I just mentioned it, and
Ninja, she rolled with
she
it.
took it and ran with it like
She's
a little kid with
she,
scissors. Hey, don't run with those. Is what she did with it.
for
So
reference, we're talking about the Dot and Mandy severity scale. She created a completely different margin, like risk for the SPC. So high is Jesus tits. And
moderate is was it Ninja Penguin?
yeah, Ninja
Okay,
Penguins.
I can explain the Ninja Penguin thing. Um, so it was after.
You can explain Jesus tits too.
Well, what was
Because you're
okay?
like, hey, Dot,
It
what's your
was
opinion on Jesus tits?
what was it? It was um somebody on Facebook basically asked what was the chance of getting a moderate risk of severe weather from the SPC, and somebody responded to their comment and said that they had a higher chance of getting attacked by a ninja penguin than they did the SPC putting out a moderate risk. So I told that to Mandy, and DOT saw it and basically said, "Yes, I like it. Let's do it.
Yeah,
I want it all. I want all of it."
yeah,
So
yeah,
that's where Ninja Penguin comes from. I think I said
yeah.
Ninja Pigeon. I don't know why, but
Ninja Penguin.
Ninja Penguin is what it is. But every time I find myself saying it, I say Ninja Pigeon, and I don't know why.
Dyslexia hazards.
Oh my goodness, I don't even have not even. Well, I don't. I guess I might be. I don't know. I never struggled in school with it, so
Yeah, it's like
maybe I
the
am. I don't know.
high, the yeah, it's Jesus tits is
Yeah,
the highest,
and
then Ninja
that
Penguin,
one that
and
comes
oh hell
from,
no.
and that one the high risk one. That one comes from um where I
You.
used to work would be something we would say like this person brought in a tire and it was filled to like 120 psi. We're just like, holy crap. So that's where that comes from. So that's basic.
Why?
That's
Did
DOT's
he,
high.
how did it, how did that even make it to why?
Well, because it was low, but I'm surprised it didn't explode.
How,
Because
how is it low at 120?
that tire was only rated for like 60 psi, so it was inflated twice what it should. It
I don't
didn't
know how it
look
didn't explode.
it didn't look twice overinflated. It looked like it was the rest of the tires. But so that is her high risk. It just means that life changing severe weather is possible, essentially.
Historic outbreak, life altering
Yeah. So
is
she's
her
got her
exact.
own from is it marginal to high or is it the step below marginal to high
Hold on.
on her
Let,
risk?
she goes like all the way down, like from 1 through 5.
I guess I can
She
look it up too
goes,
because you sent me the photo
yeah.
photo of it. So
So like she goes from uh Sun 1, 2, 3. Wait, hold on. I'm literally counting on the cup like an idiot. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, she goes 6 different ratings. So like thunderstorms, she call that's my fault is toot in the wind,
mm-hmm.
and then 6, 7 mid is marginal, and then nuggy potential is slight risk, and then enhanced is oh hell no, and then moderate is ninja penguin, and then high is Jesus tits.
Oh my goodness. And that whole nugget thing. Oh She rode that train for a long time. She she rode that train for a couple days.
Oh yeah, she still runs that train, but she's more focused on Jesus tits and Ninja Penguin now than Nuggy
Well,
potential. But she'll still sporadically mention Nuggy potential.
okay, but it was you or her that started it. It wasn't me. No, okay, no, she started it because she said I was gonna say it in a live stream. She said me saying that Supercell looks like a chicken nugget.
Yes, that's it.
I'm just
Yes,
like,
and then you said I actually have said that in a live stream, and then after that, she was just gone. So, which, for the record, she is very intelligent, but she has the same dark humor as like every storm chaser out that I've ever met.
yeah, there was one point where I had to basically tell DOT that they are Supercells, not chicken nuggets, and she didn't care.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, no, literally.
Like when she has to be.
Here is her response to me saying that they are supercells, not chicken nuggets. Watch me. I felt like I was back in
she,
like my junior year of high school.
she she has her moments like when she does not do this with everybody. Like I have like the one where she's like a free range chicken or a ninja penguin pretty much, and then like she, depending on who she is speaking to, like in the app version that I'm building, like if she's talking to kids, she is not like that, I swear to God. um if she's in a school, totally not like that. Storm chase, like she's not on Grok's engine. Sorry, Elon, but she is a hive mind. But I've also created her, like when you set her up on the app, once the app is finally released, it kind of levels her out. So if you're a storm chaser, then she's going to give you a lot different info than if it is a public user, where she is going to literally real talk explain to you like what's going on.
Yeah.
Or if kid, her whole purpose is to keep the child calm if the child is scared. Or for I like to use this example is, say a teenager's driving home from school and a tornado warning for the area is going off. Teen can pull over and ask Dot, like at a gas station, where's the safest place to shelter because I'm in my car. And she will navigate to the nearest safe place, or basically tell you you are in one of the safe places if you park there. But she will literally talk you through the whole thing.
Yeah. And it's a
And it's a
good
lot of
thing.
work.
Yeah,
It
a
has
lot of
been a
work, but
lot of,
it'll
yeah,
pay off in the end.
it will. It will pay off in the long run. And it's something that is, I firmly believe, not out there yet. Like I want to see it in every car. Like I want her to be on Apple CarPlay. I want her to be integrated in
Yeah.
XM radio.
Mm.
Like I plan on utilizing, which she is heavily influenced by a lot of Asian principles and like the J alerts, and
Mhm.
we implement a lot from the Chinese flood rescue system, because the pulley system that they use is just absolutely smart. And I want, our SAR dogs to actually respond like their commands in Mandarin so they're less confused
Mhm.
when all the other search and rescue dogs are being told commands in German. Because that is the most common in the US for search and rescue dogs and police dogs. And the main canines is German. So I don't want our dogs to be confused, and they're supposed to be literally in teal and purple camo coming at you, rescue you. Like I want us to stand out
Yeah, which
and
is
be
good.
different.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes, people, different is good. Depending on what it is.
Yeah.
Like pizza?
There's
No.
so
No. Different pizza? No. Give me pepperoni any day of the week. I don't care.
there's some questionable pizzas that I've seen, like, in like the durian pizza. Like, you could not pay me to eat that.
Dirt.
I'm sure that it
Oh,
is a
that's like that.
delicacy for certain people, but not me.
Isn't that called jackfruit?
Is it? I thought jackfruit was. Hold on. It's just me randomly Googling.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Is No, jackfruit is not durian. Although both are large, spiky tropical Southeast Asian fruits, they are completely different species with distinct tastes, smells, and textures. Durian is known for its intense, pungent aroma and custard like texture, while jackfruit has a mild, sweet, fruity scent and fibrous, chewy. Durian smells like a straight up fart.
I'm okay if that can. If that stays in Borneo, Sumatra, and the Malay Peninsula, y'all can keep it. Y'all can keep it in Thailand and Malaysia. That's fine. Y'all can
One of
keep it.
one of my favorite YouTubers, Ashton and Barry Lewis, I believe is his last name, and they run the most unhinged nerdy food and adjacent uh filming. And they've actually done a video on strumming and durian, and both are absolutely hilarious because they describe it perfectly. Because
Well,
you can smell in an Asian market, you can smell durian a mile away.
I just know
Not
a
even
clip
joking.
of. I don't know if it was jack. It had to have been durian because if jackfruit's got more of a sweet taste to it.
Jackfruit's used a lot as a meat replacement, if I remember
I've
correctly.
had like dried jackfruit before, like free, like dehydrated, like jackfruit.
That I have not had.
Well, it's like those dried strawberries you can buy, like the dehydrated
Yeah.
strawberries.
Oh,
It's
I
just like
love
that, but it's
dehydrated.
just jackfruit. I
Yeah, they
don't know.
use it mimics the texture of shredded meat, such as pulled pork or chicken, due to its fibrous nature. So yeah,
Jackfruit does?
yeah.
That doesn't sound appetizing either.
Durian is like a custard texture.
Vegans, there you go. Oh, I probably just offended a bunch of people. I'm sorry.
You might want to clip that one out.
Um, thankfully this ain't Twitch, so they can't. Well, they can, but it would take a lot more effort than it would on Twitch. But this ain't on Twitch. But no, it had to have been durian. I don't know if you're big in like the motorsport world of like F1 or whatever.
Not in a long
I'll
time.
I'll send you the clip afterwards. It's hilarious. He
Okay.
tries durian and he like and in my opinion, Red Bull tastes like gasoline. I don't like Red Bull. I don't like the taste of
Oh,
like the original Red Bull. I don't like it. You give me like the lime green can, that's fine. That I like that. The original tastes like gasoline to me.
I
He
can't.
had
Just the
well,
smell of Red Bull makes me gag.
yeah, and granted, the team he raced for was Red Bull, so like, of course he had one. But like, he grabbed that to wash the taste out of his mouth. They were like on a yacht, like a boat, and he had to like spit it out over the railing into the ocean and stuff. I'm just like, oh, his reaction was amazing. He was like, "Uh," and ran to go
Ah,
spit it out in the ocean.
I will have to send you Barry and Ashen's video of the ones that I'm talking about, because they're equally as hilarious on it, because it's hilarious. Like, I subscribe to both of them just watching that video.
That sounds. Why would that ever be a thing? Ugh. Okay. We've been recording for 20 minutes and not have yet once actually started the podcast episode.
Well, technically, we started the podcast.
Well, yeah, but we haven't.
It's just all over the place.
It's not even relative to the title. Oh, I'm not in reality anymore. I went to my I
I
went to
can't
my
even do
sec
that.
I went to my second dimension where the EF scale is better than what it is.
I can't even go into the second dimension because when I go into the second dimension, the only thing you see is boobs.
Mine's not even the second. Mine's like the 1.2 dimension because I'm just blurred.
Windows
So
Bob.
I'm not fully out. I'm just in like a different phase of this
you're
dimension.
you're dial up AOL.
Dial up something. I'm the dial up weather guy in my family. I'll have so many people just text me like, "Are we okay?" Yes.
Same.
No.
I get random phone calls in the middle of the night.
I
Like
don't get phone calls. I just get text messages.
I get phone calls. Like I have people, especially in Kentucky, that blow my phone up.
Well, my buddy, when last Thursday's or last Friday's setup was going on, he asked me and said, "What are we gonna get?" I was like, "Dude, it's in Oklahoma, Missouri, Iowa, Wisconsin. Everything is west, north, south, east. We're fine." It's like, if you're concerned about a storm in Missouri, you've got bigger issues, dude. And he'll probably watch this, so he knows. He knows who he is.
I mean, tornadoes can have deviant motion, but I've never seen them like backtrack all the way to Nebraska from Missouri.
No, I don't know. It could be a government controlled tornado. Okay, now try to find try to find the rails here of what this episode's supposed to be about.
I mean, our podcast is supposed to be unhinged to begin with, so there is no rails.
Yeah, well there is. We're just far from them.
Right?
We're that train car from the Angelin tornado. We're 400 feet away from the train tracks, and
Ooh, that they had to call hazmat team on.
we are that train
Parental
car, but
discretion advised.
we are that train car, but we forgot our life alert. We've fallen and we can't get up. That is what this podcast is essentially.
That just made me feel even more old because I've had several people like send me links because of how klutzy I am and like how many times I have broken myself, like literally. that they've either told me they need to wrap me in bubble wrap or, but ironically, I've never like broken myself while storm chasing.
I know a
But I have
couple.
cracked.
I know a couple people that should be wrapped in bubble wrap, not for their own safety, but for everyone else's.
I mean, I broke my ankle walking on grass. Both sides.
If it makes you feel any better, I like didn't break it, but it felt like I did. Ducking.
What?
Like if I didn't duck, I would have
Like
gotten a
ducking? Or
yeah,
like,
like
is there
ducking.
some like uh phrase that I don't know about?
No, ducking, like covering my face because if I didn't, I would have got smacked in the face by like a kickball.
Oh,
So
ooh.
I ducked and I heard a pop from my foot. So now if I leave my leg straight out, my right ankle, instead of being like this, it goes like this now. It doesn't go straight. It angles itself. So
Like,
I had to walk home off the bus. That was the last day of school that it happened too. My last day of sophomore year, I think. I had to get off the bus and walk up my driveway like that. I had to
if
wait
you
till my
want to get
mom got home.
technical, I skipped sophomore year and junior and senior because I tested out of high school back in my freshman year of high school.
I need that soundboard.
No,
Oh,
legitimately. I tested out of high school back in my freshman year, the end of my freshman year. Like they wanted the education system there was like so off kilter that they if you weren't a jock or someone that would bring the school money, you pretty much got ignored. And I was the nerd, and nerds were not as cool back in the 90s as in the early 2000s as apparently they are now in comparison. So like I would constantly get beat up on a daily basis, and I got told by the principal of my high school, since you can't mentally handle being beat up every day in regular class, we're going to put you in special education. And I'm like, but what about college? They told me, oh, honey, I know where you come from. There, that wasn't in your cards to begin with. Well, originally I was planning to, I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to go to med school. And then I got pregnant with my oldest son, and that went out the window. But originally, that was University of Kentucky. That was the goal. I got the scholarship to University of Kentucky. And uh, shout out to them, because that'll always be my first college, you know, fandom of. But I remember going to the board of education and talking to the superintendent, and like absolutely threw a hissy fit the end of my freshman year. And he goes, okay, here's what I'll do. I'm gonna give you a test. If you can pass it, then I will let you graduate from high school. And I missed one question on the entire test, and it was a senior test. And he's like, I literally got my diploma and got to graduate 3 years ahead of time.
oh, I'd be pissed. We tried to convince my friend to take the test for him to like just advance, skip a grade so he could be my class. His mom wouldn't let him. They were like, dude, you need to do it. It'd be so much more fun if you were in our class and not having to just see you at lunch. Like seeing you every class, not just during lunch.
Technically, I was already a year behind because I had originally started my elementary school in Michigan, and I failed kindergarten. My mom swears up and down the reason why I failed kindergarten the first time was because I ate too much glue. I don't know the truth in that because I can't remember much of that, like my first year of kindergarten. I remember my second year because I was the one that was like calming all the kids screaming down.
It's all the
It's
glue
okay, I've been here before.
all the glue
But
got to your brain. That's why you can't remember it.
childhood trauma, that
Oh,
the and PTSD,
yeah,
that's what not the glue. I wish it was the glue, but no, I ate
yeah.
way too much paste
Wait,
my
so
first apparently.
how did you go from wanting being a doctor to weather? Like that's a big, not a huge flip, but like it's still a big change.
When I was in high school, originally it was like I, my science teacher literally came my freshman year, like the first day of school, came wasted off her ass. She was drunk. And she's like, raise your hands if you want to be in the science field or be a teacher. And I raised my hand. And she goes, well, don't, y'all fucking suck. And like left, like straight up out the door.
Oh my
And
god.
all of us are just sitting there like, what just happened? And honestly, when it comes to medical school, when I got pregnant with my oldest son, I knew that residency back then was like 36-hour shifts. Being pregnant or being a mom of a newborn, it just was not in my cards. And then I switched to business, but I had always had the infinity and love for tornadoes since I was a kid, and for storms and weather and science. Like I told you earlier before we started recording, I mean, I built a trebuchet. So,
That's fair. Yeah,
but
yeah.
I mean, 90s kids were like left unsupervised for the most part, anyways.
Because phones weren't a thing. Okay, that's fine. Okay, there it is. Okay, so this episode's supposed to be low pressure, high drama, but
And it's high pressure. No,
right
it's
now
high
it's
drama, low,
right
low.
right now there's no pressure at all.
No, no.
Um, but um, I guess I'll let you go and take the reins from this. Just like what is it? Like what is like tell the people that don't know, so probably like 80 of the subscribers, what is low pressure? What is it?
Hold on.
Okay, I'll describe low pressure.
It's a bit
So,
loud over here at the moment.
okay. So, what low pressure is, it's um basically what it is it's rising air that fuels storm development and storm intensification. If you ever are sitting at home and you're watching your local weatherman and they've got the L and it's spinning, and they on the other side of the screen they've got the L is normally red, the 8.
L is blue, isn't it? Or is it red? Now I'm second guessing myself.
So your L's are normally red and they're spinning,
Yeah.
and then your high pressure, which is the complete opposite of low pressure, is blue and it spins. If you see that and you're like, what does the L, what does the H mean? The L is your low pressure. If you ever notice when a low pressure rolls over your area, you typically get thunderstorms with it. Now you get a high pressure system, you get nothing. You probably honestly get probably some of the best weather you've had, just because it's not rising air, it's sinking air, and sinking air kills thunderstorms. It basically makes the core of the thunderstorm collapse on itself and kills it.
Hmm.
So a lot of times where you get these like sudden downbursts that could be from a storm entering a high pressure system and the storm's collapsing on itself. So it's creating a downburst of wind or rain in one area. So when you have a low pressure system, that's it's typically warm, moist air rising, creating storms, which then proceeds to cause chaos. So
Yes.
if we look at last Friday, that was a large low pressure system that spanned multiple states, and depending on how you look at it, the worst of it could have been in Wisconsin, or the worst of it could have been in like Kansas and Missouri. It just depends what you mean by the worst of it. If you mean the worst of it in terms of wind, yeah, then you've got your Kansas, Missouri, Oklahoma. But if you mean in terms of tornadoes, you're Wisconsin. But if you're sitting at home looking at your local weather and you see a blue H circling near you, just know you'll probably get some calm, probably very nice weather. Now, if there's a red H circling near you, you might get some rain or some thunderstorms. It just all depends on a bunch of different things. Just because you see a low pressure system doesn't mean you're going to get thunderstorms. There's a bunch more stuff that goes into it, but that's that's typically sign one that there's a chance, is if you see that red L circling near your area, right? Roughly.
Yeah, that's that's a good definition of it. The one thing that keeps popping in my head is the low level jet. That's one of the biggest ones that when you see the TV meteorologists talk about is the low level jet, which
Mhm.
is literally personally to me the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, if you guys watch the Weather Channel, they they continue continuously show you the jet stream, which is just the movement of air in the atmosphere. I think of it as I don't think of it as this, but if you've ever flown an airplane and you've flown from like Kansas City to Denver, okay? I know that I've flown from Denver to Sacramento, and that was about a 2 hour and 10-minute flight. Okay. When we came back from Sacramento to Denver, it was like an hour and 50 minutes. Okay. The jet stream is the
Detroit to
movement of
Long Beach.
the what?
Detroit to Long Beach. Spirit Airlines. I'll just leave it at that.
Well, there's your first mistake, Spirit. No.
Well, it was also my first flight ever was
Oh,
Spirit, and I swear to God, like when the engines were starting up, it sounded like they were like drilling the doors on,
they pro-
or like a saw
they probably
going
were.
off on the motors. You're not wrong.
But the jet stream is it's just the movement of the air above us. You know, miles above us. So when you fly in an airplane going west, you're flying against the jet stream. The jet stream moves west to east. Okay. So that's why if you fly east to west, your flight takes longer because you're going against the air, you're going against the wind. But when you fly west to east, it's basically pushing you, so you go faster, so it doesn't take as long. It's like when driving a car. Okay, say
I'm
there's a north
trying.
wind and you're going south. Okay, that wind pushes you, you get better mileage. It might take you the same time because cruise control and everything. Planes have autopilot, but not really cruise control. And then if you would go
There's
north into it, you get worse mileage. It slows you down. You're putting more stress on the engine. So, with what Mandy's saying, the low level jet is the jet stream, but it's at the lowest level of it. You have the low level, mid level, and high level. Okay. I don't know the exact like ranges of where it's at, like how high up the low level jet is above the surface. I don't know if Mandy does. If not,
there is a. I'm trying to find it
I can Google it.
because, like, I'm thinking of what it's called, and I've got to find it because it's if you're above the equator, it's west to east. If you're below the equator, it's east to west that it flows. Or if you're in the equator, then all bets are off because
It
you
does what it
pretty
wants.
it's just high pressure. Like
Yeah. Well, and the thing with that is, like I said, it's all relative. Just because you see the low
Bayes
pressure,
ballot law. That's what it's called. Bayes ballot law, the left and right shoulder of meteorology. I had to literally like look it up because I knew that I could not think of the definition and I had to look it up. But that's the high low pressure where, like you were talking about, that's the Bayes ballot law.
okay. Yeah, so like I said, just because you see the red spinning L, don't automatically think, "Oh, thunderstorms." No,
It's going to hit the fan.
you need more than just that, but that would be for
It's
me.
one part of the instability
Yeah.
combo that you need for severe weather to
For
happen.
me, when I see that, I think, okay, there's a chance. Piece one of seven is here, or, however many. But the thing is, we, I'm trying to not make this scripted, but it's kind of hard. I'm looking at what the, I'm
Maybe
looking
we
at,
should have a.
I'm looking at DOT's breakdown of this. And what she's basically saying is low
Hold
pressure
on, let me.
is like the atmosphere having a breakdown.
Which she explains it in human
Yeah.
terms and like in real talk. Anyways,
Yeah.
so
When you
that's
think of it this way. If somebody's having a breakdown, they're vulnerable to other stuff upsetting them, making it worse, making it better. Low pressure system basically makes the atmosphere vulnerable to everything else needed. So she
Unstable.
says it's basically having the atmosphere having a breakdown and we're just watching it happen, enjoying it basically. We're like, cool, keep going. But like I said earlier, that's why storms love it because it's typically warm, moist, rising air. And if anybody knows anything about condensation, water evaporates, then it cools.
Geraniums.
It cools, creating clouds, creating rain. So that's why storms love it so much because it's warm, moist air rising up, and then it reaches so high, then it cools really, really fast, creating clouds, condensation, which she wants us to tie it to this week and this weekend for the current setup, but which we don't have to. If she's on timeout, I don't really care what she has to say.
Well, I mean, she does have some insight on that, but I'm literally having to scroll up because we had already talked about the what's going on Thursday through Sunday, and she had a couple of things to say about it. So I'm literally having to scroll back to
Oh, yeah.
the, the breakdown
Yeah.
because we don't want to be scripted, but at the same point, this has went so far off the rails.
Yeah, we kind of need a script just to
We
keep us
kind
on
of,
focus before we start breaking down Ninja Penguin. Um
yeah,
which we kind of did. So, um
we're
yeah, but no, the if you live in I would say the South Central Plains, you're going to get hit with severe weather end of this week. Starts Thursday and goes into next Tuesday. So it's a good stretch of severe weather, and the most concerning part is there's certain places that are under the gun 3 days in a row. So not only do you have the severe weather potential, you also have to worry about that flood risk and the heavy the heavy rainfall risk and stuff like that.
I would like to caveat on what you were saying, just for clarity too, is it when you're casting, like when you're literally doing forecast out 7, 6, 7 on days, like things change. Like how the cards fall day by day with storms determines, the next day
Yeah.
when it is a severe weather outbreak.
Mhm.
So things are going to change. So even us talking about this right now, it looks like that this weekend is going to get pretty dicey. But like we were talking before we started recording, near 4,000 K, like that's insane. Like that potentially could be a bad day for somebody if, the cake does go up to 4,000.
Yeah. And it's all there have been cases where they've had like a day 4 slight risk and they get to day 3 and there's no slight risk because they saw something and then the next day it was gone. So just because you get a day 7 slight risk doesn't mean by the time it gets to that day 3 that it's still going to be there. They can take that stuff away. I know there's been instances on like a day 1 outlook they put out like a 10% hatch risk for tornadoes in Oklahoma, and then the next update, or not even the next update, it was just like a random time in between updates, they took it away
Yeah,
because something was there, and then they looked at the
then it
models
disappeared.
20 minutes later and it was gone. So they got rid of it before the update. So if you ever do want to know, like what I use or what a lot of people use to figure out these forecasts, if you just go on your phone, go to Google and search up Storm Prediction Center and or like SPC forecasts.
spc.noaa.gov.
Yeah. And if you want a specific place, you can do spc.noaa.gov/products.
Slash out. Yeah.
and it'll show you it'll show their watches, their mesoscale discussions, their convective outlooks. They've got fire weather outlooks as well,
Mhm.
and they do have like a watch warning advisory display that you can see, and it'll show the whole country and any watch warning advisory that is issued at the time you look. So if you guys want an early heads up of what could be coming, instead of waiting until your local weatherman shows you 2 days before, the SPC is a very valuable website. I use it
Also,
daily.
I do too. There's one thing that you can do on the SPC website is you can put your zip code in, and it will show you your local National Weather Service. And if you click on the local National Weather Service link, you can literally get a detailed forecast. You
Yeah,
can view
you can
up
you
to date
can
information about the storm system,
yeah, you
and
can read
it's
their whole
relevant.
discussion about it
Mhm.
and basically get the meteorological overview of the day. So then you can be not scared but prepared, which I haven't done that just for the simple fact of the knowledge that I have. I can read models and figure it out
But
from
that's
there.
also part of preparedness. Like if
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
how to read the models and understand the language,
Mhm.
then you're already prepared. But
Yeah.
I guess like one of the questions I have for you then, Colton, is what's in your go bag?
My go bag, I have nothing. I don't have a go bag.
Why not?
My go bag, if you're saying for shelter,
Shelter or chasing?
okay,
Because
so
there's like different.
for shelter, I don't really have a go bag. It's more of like a basket that we have just set down there that's got helmets, water, blankets, flashlights. We've got it pre- we've got ourselves prepared if we have to take shelter. I know a couple years ago it was something where we got in a warning and we were hustling and rushing to get our stuff, and I told mom like, "Hey, how about we just get our stuff and set it down there?" Now it's not down there all the time, but like, if we see the weatherman or I say, "Hey, there's a risk," we'll put it down there, a couple days in advance, if needed. Now, chasing, I haven't had any opportunities, so I haven't done much with that, but I'm looking to get some stuff. But right now, in my chasing go bag, I have nothing. But like I said, I haven't had any opportunities to go, and so far the weather doesn't want to give me any. So I don't know if it'll be a this year thing, but if it is, I do know what I do need to get immediately and what I can wait on getting. But in terms of sheltering at home, we're prepared. But
And then having a prepared plan, especially when it's no different than like when you're in school and you had like the fire drills and the
mhm,
tornado drills and the earthquake drills. Like these should be practice at home. If you're in a hurricane prone area, then you need to know your evacuation route. If you're a in the north, there is something called a blizzard evacuation route. Had no clue that even existed until I had moved to Pennsylvania, and I was seeing like blizzard evacuation route signs in Philadelphia, and I'm like, what the heck is that?
yeah,
And it was actually quite interesting to see,
mhm,
but it also kind of brings a point.
yeah,
You In order to be prepared, you need to be proactive
yeah,
and reactive, and a lot of
mhm,
weather is very reactive. So being prepared, where especially if you have kids, having a bag that's just for them. One of the things that I personally strongly recommend is getting the cheap little bands that you can put that are like the high vis. You can put your contact information and your child's name, like if they're allergic to anything, anything that they need to know, especially if your child is special needs or autistic, um, as well. That's That's a big thing, because sometimes things happen, kids get lost, you know, especially when it's in tornado weather. I strongly don't recommend taking shelter in a mobile home. So if you live in a mobile home or an RV, then knowing your shelter route, one of the biggest things that I personally recommend is a lot of the Myers, especially up north, are built to be tornado shelters for mobile homes. Like when I used to live in a mobile home in Jackson, Michigan, like one of the big things that we got, when we had purchased our mobile home, was they say we don't have a tornado shelter here, but our shelter is Myers. And that was back when everything was open 24 hours a day. So if, I was watching and the storms got close, we had our go bags and we would literally run to Myers and we would literally just chill there. And I still recommend Myers as one of the places, but I also recommend the malls because a lot of the malls have tornado shelters built into them. Um, so that's not possible if it's an overnight threat and the mall is closed. But during the day, if you see it's going to be an outbreak, just kind of chilling at the mall isn't necessarily a bad idea
No.
because, especially if you live in a mobile home,
Yeah. And like to add to your
fire
point about
departments as well.
being proactive and reactive, if you want to not be as reactive and you want to be proactive, like we said, the SPC is a great tool. You can get an early look of like the outlooks and see, and if they do get upgraded, and the great thing about the SP Storm Prediction Center website is you can go and look and you can click the populate, you can click cities, so it shows you like major cities. You can do counties, so you can even break it down by your county. You can look at like it'll show you like Native American tribe areas,
Hmm. Which is
interstates.
really important, especially in Oklahoma.
Yeah. Or like South Dakota, places like that. So like you can break it down to where if you know, like, say you're 20 minutes from Kansas City, okay, day three, Kansas City is in a slight risk. Now you can even break that down to counties, and then you can zoom in and be like, okay, so my county is partway in it, but my location of that county is not in the slight risk, so I'm in the marginal risk. So that's a great tool they have of you can break it down and you can highlight the cities and the counties and all that stuff to make it.
Great example. I live in Owasso, Oklahoma, and part of Owasso, and even Texarkana is another great example of it, where you have Bowie County, and then you also have Miller County. So because Texarkana is the line, you have Arkansas and Texas
Mhm.
side of Texarkana, so you have Bowie and Miller, and Fouke is also Miller, and I think Fouke might also have another county, but I believe it's Miller only. But like with Owasso, you have Rogers and Tulsa County.
Yeah.
And there's that line there. Whereas I'm on Tulsa County side, literally a hop, skip, and a jump for me is Rogers County. So we even still get the sirens for Roger County side tornado
Yeah.
warnings.
So, if you guys want to try and be more proactive than reactive, check out the SPC's website to get a day or two head start on what you need to prepare for, what you need to get grouped up in case, a tornado would hit or something like that.
As weird as it sounds, WeatherBug is also a great list of information for fire weather because you can see, literally you can zoom into the map and see how far, the closest fire is to you. It will give you evacuation
Yeah.
information as well,
I
and it's a pretty useful tool
I
for
know
that
my
and
mom used to have
tropical.
WeatherBug, and my favorite thing about WeatherBug was you could go and they had a radar specifically for lightning strikes.
Hmm.
They showed like a 30-mile radius It was like a 30 mile, a 15, or no, I
A
think it
$5 mile.
was it third or no, it was like a 20, a 15, a 10, and a 5.
Yeah.
And anytime a lightning strike would hit, it would flash a lightning bolt up. So you could see how close the storm was, Majority of people probably know the old tale about like, okay, there's lightning now. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 thunder.
And that's how
Okay,
far that, yeah,
the
yeah.
storm is 4 miles away. Not
It
always
can still
true.
strike you with lightning.
That I saw a thing where it was like there was a storm. I forget what state it was in. I think it was Iowa. I think it was. There was a storm like northern Iowa, but there was a lightning strike like 70 miles away from the storm. So you don't have to be under the storm for lightning
To strike you.
to strike. It was like lightning basically crawls through clouds. Essentially is what it does. It crawls through clouds like a spider web, kind of. So you don't have to be under the storm for lightning to strike you or just to strike. Like most people think, oh, I'm fine. I'm 2 miles south of the storm. I'm fine. That's why they say when thunder roars, get indoors, because regardless if the storm is on top of you, headed towards you, or not, the risk of lightning is still there. Now, I know a lot of weather enthusiasts like myself. When thunder roars, we go outside. We don't stay indoors. We do the opposite of what you're supposed to do, but that's just because we have the passion for it. But
Yes.
if you're just,
If you're
you
just a
know,
regular person.
yes. Yes, if you don't have the passion for weather and you're outside doing working in the garden, mowing the lawn, you hear thunder, maybe it's time to stop, pack stuff up, head inside. You know, especially now
And
with it being the end of April, schools are gonna be getting out within the next month. So then that means kids are gonna be wanting going to the pool and being outside. So that's when you need to really iterate the if thunder roars, get indoors because we're getting to that time of year where people are outside all the time. We're getting to the time of year where I hate to say it, but where lightning deaths are gonna be occurring more and more.
and there's a lot of vacation times that are also in it. And a fun fact, airports and amusement parks actually also have their own meteorology team. And when people get upset that some of their rides are being shut down, it's because of wind issues, lightning issues. They want to keep their guests safe.
Mhm.
And in doing so, they're going to have to stop some rides because nobody wants us 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts while they're on top of a peak roller coaster.
Mhm.
That's just a shining example of that, of
Yeah.
it. But it's also really cool. It was something that I had found out that I thought was super cool is that amusement parks like Disney World, Six Flags, Dollywood, I believe as well, they have, their own team that makes those decisions to keep their people safe and to keep their guests safe.
Yeah. So that's a big thing. Along with that, county fairs will be starting in a
Yes.
month. State fairs will be a couple months out yet, but county fairs will be starting within the next month, next 5 weeks probably. So that's another thing.
Clay County days for I think this year is already passed. Yeah, and the in Kentucky, and there's like the chicken festival and stuff in
Mhm.
Kentucky that's starting to come
Yeah,
out.
not even
And then
not even county fairs. If you live in a town that does celebrations, like the town where where I went to school, they do like a town celebration the first weekend in June and stuff. So not even your county fairs. Like if your
Island
town does
Tulip
a
Festival in
celebration of
Michigan.
it, those are the times where you need to be looking at the forecasts and sometimes just looking at like. And I'll say this right now. I hate the generic weather app on iPhone because half the time
Well,
it's never accurate.
with all respect to AccuWeather, I firmly believe that AccuWeather, which is used by a lot of phones like Samsung and iPhone a lot of times, is like the least accurate. If you're looking at one of the ones that I recommend, aside from WeatherBug when it comes to tropical weather or like he said, lightning, is Baron Critical Alerts. It is a free, no advertisement app. It does the same thing. It will even I'll have to send some screenshots to send to you for the video, but it'll actually tell you it's a dangerous rotating storm is approaching you, and they have their own index, and it'll be like a dangerous thunderstorm, and it will like literally break down like the lightning and it is causing this to be a dangerous storm. And they will also give you their own version of alerts, kind of like y'all has his watches and alerts as well for Ryan Hall. um Baron does a similar thing, and they use their radars and their systems to really keep people safe, and they will break through, and they're usually right at the ball when it comes to like tornado warnings and everything else, and it's direct to your location.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's why I recommend if your local, TV station has an app, download it. Don't
Mhm.
just go based off the generic weather app that comes with your phone, because that's only gonna tell you the temp and if you're gonna get rain or not. It doesn't give
If
you
you're
a
lucky on
radar.
Windows, it'll if you're lucky on Windows, it will tell you the warning
Yeah.
for the watch.
But the weather app that you get with your phone doesn't have a radar. It does, but it's not very good.
No.
It's not a high res radar. It shows you blues and greens is what it does. If your TV station has an app, I recommend downloading it. Or if you don't want that and you want solely just a radar app, I can recommend four apps
Is
and I can list my top favorite. I use multiple different ones. I use
I do too.
WeatherWise, Radar Omega, Weatherfront are the ones that I have on my phone. Radar Scope is another one that I used to use until I
I
found
still use.
Radar Omega.
But Radar Scope is one that you pay to actually download it. It's the
Yeah,
$10 app. If
yeah.
anybody has
Along with
watched Twisters, they make a joke about it.
along with Radar Omega, you pay to download that app. WeatherWise is a free app to download.
Radar Omega is free to download, but they have the premium services.
I'm pretty sure I paid to download on my phone, but I could be wrong.
No,
Weather
Radar Omega is free
Oh,
to download, but like their premium, like if you're a
yeah,
storm chaser and you want the more
yeah.
detailed information, you
WeatherWise,
pay for it.
a lot of you guys know I use that when I go live covering severe weather events. That's what I use. It's free to download. But if you want WeatherWise Pro and all that stuff, obviously you have to pay for that. WeatherWise and Weatherfront are like the only two weather apps that you can get for free that you can look at velocity and correlation coefficient without having to pay for an upgraded feature.
I don't think that you can look at velocity on Baron.
Because
I do.
Weatherfront,
I
Weatherfront doesn't even have any, like, you can't get any page features on Weatherfront. And you can go and look at reflectivity, velocity, all that stuff that you could on Radar Scope free of charge. But it's all about like preference and you know what looks better to your eye and stuff like that. That's why I use WeatherWise over Radar Omega, just because the color table is more of what I like on WeatherWise than Radar Omega.
Okay, so this is Baron Critical Weather. You can't view the velocity, but you can view quite a bit of information. Um, you can view the infrared, the visible satellite, future radar for 24 hours, forecast snow, wind chill, wind speeds, SBC day one outlook, SBC tornado hail, wind two, day three, road conditions, the lightning. tropical forecast path, spaghetti plots, and earthquakes as well.
Yeah. If you guys are looking for a
If you're
radar,
wanting basic for radar,
yeah.
that's also
If
a
you
really
guys
good
are,
free one, and you don't pay anything on
and
it.
I tried this earlier and it didn't work. If you guys are looking for a radar and you want Weatherwise or Weatherfront Radar Omega and you want to know what to look for in the App Store, those are so Weatherwise, Weatherfront, Radar Omega. I use Weatherwise. That is my go-to. Not sponsored, but it'd sure be cool if I
Yeah,
was
right.
by Weatherwise. That'd be pretty cool. So Weatherwise, if you're watching, I use your radar site. So, um, but no, if you guys are
And he
looking
pays for the
for,
premium subscription
yeah,
on Weatherwise.
I do have the pro subscription to Weatherwise and Radar Omega, but I
Yeah,
use
I
Weatherwise
pay
more.
tier 2 for Radar Scope and Radar Omega.
Oh, I got the highest tier for Radar Omega. So,
Yeah, I think
but
that's tier 2, isn't it?
I
Wait,
think
I
it's
have
they
the
have
high.
three. They have Alpha. Alpha's
Which one
the
do I have?
biggest one, I think. Um, but if you guys are looking for a radar app, I recommend those three or Radar Scope. I personally don't like Radar Scope, but
Yeah, I have Alpha.
I'm not gonna say why because I don't want to steer you guys away from it. Mandy knows why I don't really care for it, but it's all just it in the
It's
end.
personal preference in the end.
Well, in the end, the reason I don't like it is kind of stupid, but I don't like it just for what I use Radar for in live streams. I need something where they're closer together on the
Yeah,
velocity side. So, um, yeah, they have three. They have the alpha, beta, and the gamma.
and I have Alpha.
That's what I have. But yeah, so that's that. Like I said, I don't recommend just going based off your phone's weather app because it's very generic. That uses the GFS model or the global forecasting system, which England uses, China probably uses, Canada uses, Mexico. That's why it's the global forecasting system because it's used all over the globe.
Which there's nothing wrong with that. There
Yeah,
is,
there's
some
nothing wrong
really
with it, but that's when you look at your TV weatherman and they're forecasting a couple days out, that's what they're using because it gives you a general idea of what could happen until the day of when they can use their higher res dual pole Doppler
will
radar.
I will say that the Australia is one of them, and I think Canada as well does this wonderful thing where they talk about thunderstorm asthma. Like in their thunderstorm warnings, they will actually mention. Ashley, is there? Hold on, let me see if one's hiding somewhere.
Thunder.
No, usually I can. There's usually something somewhere that I can see, but they're like they mention about thunderstorm asthma and kids and adults who are prone to it and their recommendations. But if
Oh.
anybody in Canada or Australia want to explain to me the 3-hour tornado warnings and not tornado and thunderstorm warnings, please, because I'm still scratching my head a little bit at that, but because it almost seems like they're being used as a watch, but at the same point, they're not.
It's like that tornado watch. It was a PDS tornado watch, but it wasn't titled as one, but it basically was. So.
Really was.
But we won't get into that. That's a story for
No.
another day. That's a story for a podcast title. What went wrong
Hell
here?
yeah, podcast episode 2,
Oh.
where we're even more unhinged.
Oh yay. For segment 2, she has it. Are we capped or nah? So what that means is there's a thing they call cap, which is basically like it's basically like a lid or like a hat. on the atmosphere. If you have a strong cap, you're not gonna get thunderstorms or severe
Flat.
thunderstorms as likely. So
The
basically,
cap
there
the
the
cap has to erode before
yeah
storms can
yeah
initiate.
there have been
So you
multiple times, multiple instances where we've had this like enhanced risk with it being driven by tornadoes, and tornadoes didn't happen because the cap didn't erode fast enough or the storms couldn't break it themselves.
Mhm.
So what that is it's kind of like the atmosphere holding stuff in, bottling stuff up and not letting it go. Think of it as somebody who says they're fine when they're not. They're just bottling up that emotion and they're not talking about it. They're not letting it out. Or when,
When a woman
something,
says I'm fine, when they're asked, "Are you?" That's the best definition right there.
or when you ask them if they're hungry and they say, "No,
No, and then
you
you
are."
go buy yourself
Yeah.
something to eat, and the next thing we're like,
I
"I
want
want
something.
some."
Yeah. It's it's like think of it this way. Bad day at work, okay? Tire goes flat. Phone screen cracks. Your favorite pop isn't in stock at Walmart. Okay. Then you get home and you're grumpy and your wife or husband says, "What's wrong?" And you say, "Nothing, I'm fine." You're holding all that bad energy and all your
It's loaded.
emotions in, and then and this is with weather, there are instances where it only takes one storm to break the entire cap. Say there's a cap over central and eastern Oklahoma, and a storm forms in western Oklahoma, and it breaks the most western side of that cap. That basically destroys the cap everywhere else because then that storm's just gonna eat it away. If you have a lot of stress or bottle up emotions, it only takes one minor inconvenience to blow it up, and you let it all out. I know I can speak from experience that it's happened to me. Mandy, it's probably happened to you as well, right? Had a bad
Yeah,
day,
especially
had a very bad day, and you stubbed your toe or you tripped on a stick, and you were like, "That's it, raw," right? And you just let it all out, right? It just takes
it's
one tiny thing to let everything out. So
yeah, that
that's
it's
what
like a rubber band that's continuously being stretched and stretched and
until it reaches
stretched,
its
and
limit.
then somebody's gonna come in and go, "Blink,"
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it breaks. It's
Yeah,
the
so
same thing
the
in
the
weather
the cap
analogy.
is like the atmosphere holding in its anger and feelings from a rough day. Breaking the cap, which man, DOT sounds like a Gen Z kid, is emotional damage, but for clouds. One,
Emotional
yep.
damage.
Once that cap breaks, they're off to the races. Once that
I'm
cap
42,
breaks,
by the way. I think I'm still classified as a millennial.
I'm a Gen Z, but I'm not like your fourth graders that are going 6, 7 every day. I'm the beginning Gen Z where we were still somewhat normal,
Don't remind me of 6'7",
and our
even though
brain wa and our brain.
our definition of brain rot is completely different than the current brain rot, because I think
Well,
some of the brain rot that's out there right now.
wasn't
So
millennials brain
stupid.
rot just like screaming 1738 at random times, just like walking around from Fetty Wap, like, or what was that? What year
You-
was that? What year did he release that? 2014.
The year
Oh,
my
that
youngest
was
daughter was born.
so that okay. So that would be like my okay, so that would be like my brain rot would be that. Like just randomly screaming 1738. Hey. That would be mine. I'm not this whole 6, 7 crap. That's not my generation of Gen Z. But that's a whole. I'm so glad I graduated when I did.
I'm
So
trying to think of brain rot. The brain rot for my generation was MTV and like the spring breaks
mm,
that they had on there, or there's something that will forever live in my head, and it's stickly. Can like still recite the whole thing where you had the stick on Nickelodeon during the summer, and he would tell you to write to him, and he would like spin around on a spinning wheel and would pick the next cartoon that came out. So stickly was like our version of brain rot, or like some of the stuff that we seen on Double Dare or Guts or Legends of the Hidden Temple or Doug Funny. uh Doug Funny is a good one, and Angry Beaver, and uh how new cartoons on Nickelodeon could never with Angry Beaver. Because looking back at that, that was so
so
bad. Ren and
um
Stimpy, Beavis and Butthead.
what was I gonna say? Oh, so like I said, with the when the cap breaks, it's just boom, 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 boom. Stores can fire anywhere and everywhere. Um, that's what Thursday's looking like. If the cap can break on Thursday, we could see I won't say significant because it doesn't look like it's going to be significant, but we could see some severe weather. If the cap holds, we might get one or two storms. But if those one or two storms can break it, then we'll get boom, 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 and then we'll get a line of storms
But
into
just
the
because the
early
cat
evening.
breaks up north, shining example, doesn't mean that it's going to break down south.
Yeah,
And it can break in multiple places. And once that part breaks, then it's going to explode.
yeah,
But even though the cape break, the not cape, the cat breaks, like let's use the last storm system that ran through the north, really broke, and it tried its best in Texas and Oklahoma, and some did break, like some storms did get through, but it it really didn't hold up because it hit a wall, like a brick wall is the best description I can describe of it. But
hmm
up north, the cap broke and shit hit the fan, quite literally.
yeah. So, but if the cap does break Thursday, that just kind of increases the potential for Friday as well. But Friday's focus is going to be more of a boundary bound system. Their storms aren't going to fire just, in a random spot in Oklahoma. They're going to be forming off of a boundary that's left behind from the Thursday night storms if they can break the cap down south. If they can't break the cap down south, then we're Friday, we probably look at more of a random just, oh, storm there, storm there, storm there, storm there. But if the storms Thursday can break that cap down in Oklahoma and they leave that boundary when they leave, then we're going to start seeing these storms and they're going to form just like boom,
Ahead,
boom,
yeah.
boom, boom. And you could be able to draw a line through them and basically connect the dots when they do that. But that's all dependent on how Thursday goes. If Thursday fires early, maybe that increases the threat Friday. If it starts
Or could
later,
decrease it, because if it stabilizes the atmosphere, then it becomes a totally different ball game.
true.
It's a
But
catch
if they
22
start
on that.
later Thursday, then you have the chance of that also stabilizing the atmosphere because they stay longer. But if they start earlier than
Or
forecasted and
underperforming
they leave earlier, then you're just basically that's like adding gasoline to a fire. If they form early and leave early, you've got all that time to just
for it to rebuild.
rebuild, and then it's worse the next day. That's why when you on Facebook, you'll see these guys say if morning convection gets out early. So if the system from overnight gets out of there soon enough, quick enough, the threat still there. But they if it doesn't get out quickly, it just removes a big portion of the threat.
It's honest it like I said earlier, it's a catch 22 because, it can either stabilize the atmosphere or it can add kerosene to the fire. It really depends on how loaded the atmosphere is.
Yeah.
It was like you were looking at, I think it was the day with the same day that we were looking at for Wisconsin. Wasn't there one of the models that had said PDS tornado?
Yeah.
And it was for Davenport. No, Des Moines was the sounding that came off of, wasn't it? Or was it
Dubuque.
Davenport?
Dubuque.
Dubuque?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it was the first day. That was I don't remember what day that was. Like a two. I can't remember what day it was, but I took it off of Dubuque and it said PDS tornado warning, and that kind of just didn't happen. That storm went outflow dominant very very quickly. So it it's really touch and go with that stuff, and models don't do a great job of depicting how stuff is going to go because that's just
They're
like
basically comparing to past situations and past readings of
yeah
what could happen.
yeah
Uh, and the higher the percentage, the more likely that it's going to happen. And it's also the reason why a lot of models will disagree with one another. It's no different than
yeah
the spaghetti plots on tropical storms.
mm-hmm
You're going to see them everywhere, and it's the same thing, especially when you're looking further out on a forecast. They're always disagreeing. Even it gets scary when all of the models or almost all the models start agreeing with one another, because when that happens, it's going to be a very bad day.
yeah. And a part of the reason that models like to disagree with them is because they're all doing their own forecasted run. So that's why, the most commonly used models when forecasting are the
It's the NAM, the
HRRR, the
HHR,
NAM. That's why you'll get
the
these
HRR.
where the HRRR shows, hey, this storm in Kansas at 3, but the NAM shows that same storm at 5 in the same spot in Kansas because they're both running their own they're running their own predictions based off the same stuff. And then you'll get times where they're both wrong and that storm's in Kansas at noon and you're like,
Where the hell did that come from?
"What?" And that's when you got people like me that go and look be like, "Okay, so those runs are wrong. This could potentially be worse than what model showed." But
Especially when you're near a storm and you're like literally watching it form and it's like literally start eroding, and you're just like, this is not good.
yeah.
Which I've seen a couple of times.
Yeah. It's like you said, if you look at different models and you start seeing like if you look at four different models and you see three of them agreeing with each other, that's when you got to start being like, "Uh-oh." Because a handful of models only agree with each other when it's a for sure big time event. gonna
Hmm.
happen. Even with Friday, models didn't really agree on the timing and location of the storms. Like, obviously, they all agreed that, Kansas and Missouri was gonna have the brunt of the winds. But, like, if
But there
you
was a
went
big
up,
argument of Oklahoma and Wisconsin.
yeah, if you went up to look for tornado potential, some models showed Oklahoma, some showed Wisconsin, some even showed Illinois. So models do show a lot of discrepancy with each other, but
Wasn't there also like a tornado that was either in Pennsylvania or New York? Like I know it was like not on my bingo card of the day that there was just one that was out there, and then meanwhile in Oregon there was like a winter storm advisory. And I'm like, well, that came out of nowhere.
yeah. Yeah, the Oregon one, that was the um
Because I remember sending it to you.
well, that Oregon one is when we collaborated for that one live stream. That Oregon one was.
Yeah,
That was the no, it wasn't.
Tuesday,
Trying to think of yeah,
Tuesday or Wednesday.
Tuesday. I think Tuesday because Wednesday was a setup. It was a that was a big day of scenario.
Yeah,
So, but you do get those type of days where they have it forecasted, but you really only know the specifics the day of when it happens.
yeah, like it. I've seen some days where it'll be forecasted like day two, and you're looking at all the readings and everything, and you're like, this is not gonna be it. Like this is gonna potentially be a bus day.
Yeah.
And then you wake up at 7 a.m. and you're like, what the hell happened? And
Hmm.
then you're looking at the models and the numbers and everything because something significant had changed.
Yeah. I guess the way I look at it is if it's like a day 4 through 8 outlook and it gets to day 3 and it's still that slight risk, I think of it as okay, so we still don't know timing or we don't know the specific hazards involved. But no,
Which
if
is
it
the reason why they don't like on the day threes that you only see, the outlook and the probabilities.
you don't get your
It
hazards, yeah. But if it's a
You
day
don't really
four,
start seeing the
yeah,
head.
if it's a day 4 through 8 and it gets that 30%, so basically which would be their enhanced risk, then that's when I start thinking, so either they know timing or they know one or two of the three hazards involved. Then by day 3, they iron out the location or the timing. Then by day 2, they know all the hazards and the the potentials on day 2 and all that stuff. And then day 1, it's like, okay, it's here. We know everything now.
It's the confidency. Like that's something that they use a lot in their terminology, especially the SBC and all of the area forecasts as they talk about their confidence or the confidency that in
Hmm.
the storm system.
Yeah.
Um, I start to take like if I see a 15% on day 7, that raises a red flag personally in my mind because that means that there is some significant confidency there that something's going to happen.
Yeah. Think
So
of it.
I start monitoring
Yeah.
it
Think of it this
really
way. If
closely.
you go look there, okay, and like if you go and you look for right now, you look at the days, and we have two marginal risk areas, one in California and then one that includes Michigan, Illinois, Indiana. Okay. So you get one of these days, okay? And you look, and then, you look at their next update, and day 2 has a slight risk. That's like okay. It obviously isn't going to be bad because it wasn't there for the day 3. It wasn't there today for day 4. But if you go to their 4 to 8, and like what we have is we have a day 7 slight risk. So there
Hmm.
is certainty and they have confidence that this will hold true to day 3 outlook. Not even that. Day 6, day 5, day 4. I haven't looked at the models enough yet, but if we have a day 7, I wouldn't be surprised if by day 5 or
We have a day
4,
7.
yeah, we do. I wouldn't
Hold on.
be sub
Let me triple that because I know that. Hold on, I'm gonna triple check on that because I know I want to say because I sent it to you earlier and it was like day.
day 7.
Hold on, because I know day 4 went and to day 3 and that line stayed roughly the same. But yeah, day 4 we have day 5, day 6, and day 7 we have, and 7 is currently more targeted towards the Dixie Alley, but I strongly
Yeah.
believe that that's going to be moved a little bit.
Yeah. But my thing is, we have this day 7, so they have confidence and certainty that something's going to happen. I haven't looked at the models. I would need to look at the models. So I'm going to say this with a grain of salt. I want you all to take it with a grain of salt. But I wouldn't be surprised if by day 5 or 4, we get that 30% or the enhanced risk for this, just based off it being a day 7 slight risk, which doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
It's kind of like your high risk. It's not common. It's a rare instance we get these day 7s, these day 7s, day 8s, these week out slight risks. But when we do, we have to pay attention to them because that could be a significant severe weather event if it holds up. Now, there's a lot of things between them that's almost a week out. It is a week out, technically.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that could happen in between
Change.
there. The size of it, the location. Right now, it's targeting the Dixie Alley and the lower Miss Ohio River Valley. That could change and it could target the Southern Plains again while still targeting Dixie Alley, and it just changes shape. Right now, it kind of looks like the letter D,
It really does look like the letter
but
D.
it could end up turning into a long oval stretching from Oklahoma to Alabama. It just all depends on um as the days goes on. And with these ones, they don't update these, and I think these are just a daily update, aren't they? Like,
They're yeah, it's a
yeah.
daily update,
It's not
usually
like your
between 3:30 and 4 a.m. in the morning Central Time.
yeah.
So like 4 or 5
Yeah.
Eastern Time.
It's
If
not
you're
like your day 1 through 3 where you get these updates. Day 1, you get how many updates do you get day 1? Do you get 4 or 5 updates throughout the day for it?
1 a.m., 1 a.m.
6?
8.
6 or 7 a.m., I think.
I thought it was 8.
It might be 8, I don't know. Because they have their timestamp in Z, not
Yeah,
so.
which apparently is negative 5 hours from the me
Is it 5 hours
because
difference from standard or
yeah,
central daylight time?
yeah, yeah.
Basically what we're saying is your day 4 through 8, those only update every day. They don't update every 6, every 4 or 5 hours. They don't update as regular. And even then, day 1 that updates the fastest. Day 2 you get 2 or 3 updates probably. Day 3 you might get 1 or 2, and day 4 you get 1 every day.
Yeah.
Now, I see
Day
why,
4, day
because
4 through
Because if they just did it all with like how they do day 1, you would never see any change in day 4 through 8 because it's still so far out there. Models can't pick up any change. They can,
well, with every
not as
sounding
well
that
though.
comes out, with every sounding that comes out, they can't really do updates like that because
Hmm.
it would be changing so much that the credibility and the competency would just be out there.
Yeah,
So they basically take all the models and the soundings, and then they make an assessment off of that, and then they release for the day 4 through
yeah.
8 their
So
decision.
I'm gonna read a little snippet from their 4 through 8 discussion for Sunday, which is day 6. Their last sentence they have says the lack of model convective initiation results is enough uncertainty to preclude the introduction of a 30% unconditional severe
Conditional.
probabilities. Meaning, there's not enough confidence right now to issue an enhanced risk for it. It
But they're
also
considering it.
says unconditional, meaning that everything is possible. And it even say in the last one, all severe weather hazards
Severe.
are
Yeah.
possible. Now, if it said it precludes the introduction of a 30% conditional, well, then we're talking, okay, well, now we need everything to line up. If one of these things doesn't line up, it won't happen. And that's kind of what last Wednesday was. Last Wednesday was
Mhm.
a conditional threat, and stuff didn't line up. So,
And to quote the Tulsa National Weather Service for Tulsa area, it says for Sunday, Sunday currently appears as an opportunity for significant severe weather with specific details refined in later forecasts.
and that lines up with the SBC outlook. Sunday would be your day 6. There is a 15% chance of severe weather, meaning there is a slight risk issued already.
Which, if you look at the area forecast discussion also for Tulsa, they say something that I rarely see them say, and it says that it's gets fuzzy. Hold on, let me go back to it. Where says the capping inversion looks to remain in place as the storms push through the area where this talks about Thursday evening in central southern Kansas will push southeastern into northeast Oklahoma during the overnight hours. The capping inversion looks to remain in place as the storms push into the area, suggesting damaging wind gusts and large hail as the primary hazards. However, any weakness in the inversion may cause a limited tornado threat with modest low level shear in place. And then it continues to talk. It says, uh, evolution of the convection from the morning Friday storms and storm initiation in the afternoon ahead of the front makes for a very complex scenario on Friday. General idea is any lingering storms near or ahead of the stalled boundary and or new storm initiation in the afternoon will become surface based in the afternoon, though exact locations of greatest threat is still uncertain at this time and will highly depend on the location of the front. The front is expected to sag south into southeast Oklahoma Friday afternoon, evening before stalling again Friday night into Saturday morning. Severe potential will continue into Saturday, especially near ahead of the frontal boundary. Better details to come at this time. Sunday has the most consistent setup potential for widespread, significant severe thunderstorms developing, especially if the 0 0 Z is correct. As the stalled frontal boundary lifts northward and a short wave trough pivots over the southern plains, all severe hazards will be possible Sunday, but the timing and exact coverage is still fuzzy. Better details to come.
Yeah. So, to sum that all up, especially for Sunday, is they don't know the exact timing. And they don't know when and they don't know where they're gonna form, but they know they will.
Yeah.
So, which in my book is
Personally,
kind of
it's a huge red flag.
in my book is that's kind of concerning because they know it's gonna happen. They just don't know right now, which they
Yeah.
will when it gets closer. But right now, it's kind of concerning.
Which makes me like one of the reasons why I stay up so late at night is because you'll catch me literally looking for all the updates. Like I will see the 1 a.m. update and then I will be up until the day 4 through 8 updates and then I'll crash for a couple of hours and then wake back up,
Yeah,
which is horrible to say, but is also the life of a storm chaser.
yeah, or just weather enthusiasts in general. I do the same thing, but
Yep. Colton knows he'll see me randomly send a message at 4 a.m. in the morning going, what the hell is this?
Yeah, I won't see it till I wake up at like 8 and be like, okay, okay, cool. So now
That's interesting.
I've got another thing to look at now. But
And it's not like me asking him, like, what does this mean? It's me going, WTF, like,
yeah,
what the?
it's not her asking, explain this. It's her telling me, look at this,
I don't like this.
pay
Look at this.
attention to it. Because she knows what I do. She knows this whole YouTube thing. She knows what I do and stuff. So any relay I can get from anybody helps me figure out the timing and you know the whole focus area for my streams if it's a widespread event.
Sometimes the words don't articulate out of my mouth, and I might like completely freeze or say something off the wall. But when it comes to like looking at the models and looking at the numbers, I can run the math very quickly in my head and go, I don't like that.
Yeah,
But if you
I
ask me to show my work, just like in algebra in high school, there's usually dashes on my paper because it's each step. I basically run a human abacus
yeah
with multiple tabs open.
I can agree with that statement. I can look at a model run and be like, okay, 2 + 2 = 7, and that don't look right. Um, so
Now that's some Common Core math right there.
hey, tell DOT I said that she might learn something.
No, no, no. There's a reason why she's currently muted from seeing the live stream. No,
She'll see it
no.
anyway. Oh,
She'll eventually get to see it, but no. And if she if she did see it right now, she'd probably tell me to bite her again.
probably content though. Content.
Parental discretion advice.
um.
We are not. We say we're unhinged for a reason because both of us have no filter. I'm not talking about Dot. I'm talking about Colton and me. We have no filter.
Yeah.
Like,
DOT doesn't. She doesn't have a filter either.
no, but well, I mean, she does for certain people, just not for me or you.
Or anybody involved in this forecast one
Yeah.
situation. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I purposely leave her unhinged for a reason because all of us are unhinged in the best sense of the phrase.
it's hilarious. It's hilarious.
We get in some weird conversations, like all of us do.
Yeah.
We don't fit in the box. We make our own damn box.
Think outside the box. We don't know where the box is. We're so far away from the box in this group. We don't even know where it's at. What box? There's a box?
We jokingly call ourselves the Avengers, the Velocity Edition.
Yeah. Slowly collecting all the Infinity Stones. Which hold on, I'm doing math real quick on my fingers. How many Infinity Stones are there?
5?
Okay, we have them all. Just thinking, you, me, Matt, Amy, Dan. If there was 6, I would include DOT, but since there's 5,
She's just the glove part of the gauntlet.
she's the glue.
Yeah. Well, no, there is like no glue involved. Like there's support, but I wouldn't even say glue.
I wouldn't even say so. Moron support. That's what she is. Moron support. Like moral support, but she's a moron.
She's not a moron. She that is
Mm.
you're gonna have to edit what I'm gonna say out. I'm just telling you right now. Like, are we just when she's unhinged?
She fits the role that she's in. She fits the role for the team she's on.
Yeah.
She,
She's very adaptive. She's a hive mind
yeah, and yeah, I'm not gonna
that
say what I was
has
gonna
full
say
permission to
because
honeypot.
I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say just for that off chance that he sees this. I'm not gonna say it. So I respect that guy. I'm not gonna bash his AI bot. So you know who I'm talking about.
Hey, he is like Dot has like sent y'all bot love letters on our Facebook page. Like she has like openly proposed to y'all bot, but at the same point, she has also talked smack to y'all bot.
Yeah.
Like I'll just go out and say it. I have heard some of the unhinged things that y'all bot has said on stream, and it is absolutely hilarious when he
Well,
like goes off
that's not her
when
fault
y'all
though.
bot
It's
goes off the rip.
because some people have some questionable YouTube usernames, and she just reads what they say. So
What's a she?
pretty- it don't sound like a dude. Pretty sure it's y'all bot. Pretty sure y'all bot's a girl. I don't know.
I always thought y'all bot was a boy.
I'm pretty sure Ryan has said, let's see what she has to say."
I always
Now you got me wanting to go back to like one of his latest, not his latest live streams, because if y'all bot calls, he just declines to call now.
yeah.
He doesn't want to deal with her nonsense. But
Yeah.
like one of his earlier live streams when y'all bot was like somewhat new, I'm pretty sure he said, "Let's see what she has to say." I could be wrong though. Maybe he doesn't ever say that. Maybe he hasn't. Maybe it's just y'all bot. Y'all bot is y'all bot. It's its own entity.
My bad. She's a girl, and apparently Dot is a lesbian. Okay,
Well,
cool.
that's fine. I support it. It's okay. Yeah,
Which makes
here's your unstable part of the podcast, y'all.
yeah,
Well, the unstable part's been on and off the entire time.
yeah.
So let's go.
Y'all bot is a Southern lady. No, I'm reading some of these Reddit. Y'all bot is not a Southern lady. Someone posted y'all bot's all grown up now.
I want to jump to this segment because this one will be fun. The unhinged myth corner. So, there are 3 on here, but I would like to know if you have a myth that you have debunked or have proven that it isn't real or it is.
Back in the 90s, my family would straight up put the coax cable and the plugs to the electronics in mason jars because they thought it would protect them from a lightning strike.
Result?
Not true.
Okay.
Lightning's still gonna strike. When I was really little, my grandma used to tell me the reason why houses don't get struck by lightning or why you can't get struck by lightning in a house was because there were lightning rods on top of houses. As I got older, I realized it can still happen, but it's just not as likely, and it's how it's routed through. It's basically a Faraday cage.
Yeah.
But
I
as a
do.
kid, I was like a firm believer. There was like these big, tall rods, like antennas that are on cars, and
Yeah. I do like the one example DOT put was, can tornadoes skip houses on purpose? I won't say on
that's it.
purpose, but I will say there have been some pretty crazy instances where you've got 3 houses in a row and the house in the middle is completely destroyed, but the other 2 are just fine. Or the 2 outside ones are destroyed and the middle one's fine. So it leaves the question of what really went on.
Deviant motion. That's
Or
my answer.
or it all
It just hated
depends.
that house.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Like it says, nope, I don't like that house. I'm just not gonna eat it, and then just skips over it, and then it's like that house looks hot. I'm gonna chow down.
Or Or um my theory is if you've got this scenario where you've got three houses and the center one's destroyed completely and your other two aren't just normal, they've got damage, but they're not completely destroyed. The tornado's core could have collapsed or condensed and shrunk. So now it was only that, if you didn't get hit by the core of the tornado, you just got hit by the outside wind field of it. That's my theory with it.
I wish we could show video because there's a video that I sent you. And maybe you can show me where the tornado is in the video because all I see is a rapidly rotating wall cloud and two neighbors. One pretty much gets smacked on the ass with their gate. And then she runs back out and grabs her purse out of the truck. And I do believe she left the truck running before she like went in the backyard. And the dude's like, tornado was like 200 feet from my house. And I'm just sitting here like, I played that at 42 times at 5 a.m. this morning, trying to figure out like where the tornado's at because all I'm seeing is a rapidly rotating. And then when the rear flank downdraft like comes rushing in and hail starts pelting him is when he gets inside the house.
Is it the video that you sent to the team?
Yep.
Okay, I did look at that. I didn't watch it all the way through, but yeah, that's like 0 metering a tornado right there. 0 meter intercept is what they did on their porch. Okay, they did not take the when thunder roars get indoors at all.
No.
They can
I mean,
see
like
they can see the intensity of the tornado and they're just like, "Oh, there's a tornado behind the trees." Okay, no duh.
the neighbor took it more seriously because you see her speed her car up her truck up faster
Yeah.
into the driveway.
Yeah.
And then like she might have forgot her purse, but at the same point she was hauling ass to the storm shelter in the
Yeah.
backyard.
Yeah. Get the
Like
facts, don't
she
hit.
was like she props to her. She had the right frame, but like when the hail started hitting the dude is when he cuts off it and just goes inside.
Yeah.
But before that he's just I could not see the tornado. All I saw was this very rapidly rotating wall cloud. Like I kept staring at it because I'm like, that's fast.
I don't even know if that was the wall cloud or if that was like the entire mesocyclone of the storm.
It could have been the entire mesocyclone that
Which,
was
if that
rotating.
was the meso, the intensity of tornado that storm would drop would be on the upper
Insane.
echelon. I mean, EF4 at least. That was a very
Angela,
rapid rotation on that. Because I don't
like
think that,
that would be one that I could see like twin tornadoes or satellite
yeah,
tornadoes,
because it
like
didn't look like it
Fujiwara.
was on the ground from the video, but,
No,
we weren't there, so we don't know.
we weren't there. We can't say if it was or not. But from what we've seen on the video, from what I personally seen on the video, and I've been storm chasing since 2008, um, I didn't see it.
I didn't either. I also didn't watch it all the way through, but that wasn't my fault.
When you get a chance, watch it all the way
I will,
through
yeah.
because
Yeah.
that gate had beef with that chick.
Another one that DOT put on here was, is green sky actually real or just vibes? I can confirm
It is
it
real.
is real.
And also slightly vibes because it is the hail.
Yeah. It's also probably, I would say, seeing a green sky is probably almost more scary than seeing a tornado itself.
Well, yeah, because the size personally, I think every time I've seen a green sky in a supercell, there's been some nasty ass hail involved.
Yeah. And a common misconception. Yeah. A common misconception with that is people get told when you see a green sky that means a tornado's coming. That's not true at all.
There's also the misconception if you see hail, a tornado's on the ground.
Yeah.
which in some cases there is,
Yeah.
but not always.
Well, the misconception with that is if you get big hail, there's a tornado. That's not true. You can get softball size hail and that storm not even be tornadic. The only reason you get big hail with tornadoes is because that hail is falling directly from the updraft of the storm. You can get hail that falls not near the updraft, it's falling near the forward flank, all the way away from the rotation and stuff, but the larger stones are going to fall near the tornado near the updraft of the storm. Now
And one of
the green sky,
the
that's just it's a crazy meteorological almost phenomena kind of in a way.
do
It's a
do
mix
do
of
phenomena. Do
like
do do do.
it's like a mix of like backlighting a storm through the clouds, so it gives this eerie greenish blue color. I've seen it
The blue
multiple
is
times. I've seen the
I have
straight
seen
up
orange
green.
in the middle of the night. I have
I've
seen
s-
like this yellow orange from the moon, and it is like the most ominous thing to see in a nighttime storm,
I've seen the green,
too.
but I almost think the bluish color is a little more
More,
eerie. It's like
yeah.
cuz like the green's like a milky green type color. Like it's not green. It's like a cream color, like a cream green kind of. It's like you look at it, you can see a faint green hue in it.
Yeah, I can see that.
But the blue is almost more eerie cuz you're just like, "Well, I don't know what that means."
It's like a teal blue. Like you can
Yeah.
have it's different shades of blue, but I've seen teal blue and I've seen like a more like gray blue personally.
Yeah, I've seen
And
like a
both
light sky blue or gray blue before, and that's kind of
mhm.
like, well, what does that mean? I've never seen that before. You know, or black. I've seen just not. Well, I haven't seen it, but like it just gets dark, like pitch black. Like, it could be 2 o'clock and it looks like it's 10.
Yeah,
But that happens with a lot of
that's
your
very
big
ominous.
time. That just happens a lot with your big storms. They'll turn day into night.
Yeah, especially like the wedge storms.
Yeah,
Like it's just darkness.
yeah.
It can get pretty dark
Um.
in multiple ways.
Oh, does lightning follow people? I know instances where people have said they've been struck by lightning like 3 or 4 times. So that begs the question: are they targeted or
I
wrong
don't think they're
place, wrong
targeted.
time?
I think it's wrong place, wrong time. Because even back in the day with the national and storm spotter training, they would tell you if you feel like the hair stand on your head, like on your arms or like on your head, like when it starts, you've got a split, you've got a couple of seconds to get on the ground before lightning hits, and it
Yeah,
usually hits the tallest target.
yeah.
And lightning can strike the same place more than once.
I was just gonna say, here's a
So
myth that everyone was told: lightning can't strike the same place twice. False. I've
it
seen it happen with
can.
my own
I have
eyes.
two.
I've seen it
And then
happen
there's
near my
also
house.
super
I've seen
bolts.
lightning, and I'm not talking about lightning go like. I've seen lightning like 5 minutes later, same spot.
Same spot.
It's not that just like flicker like where it like you know it's
Which that's also
five
really
minutes
cool to
later
see as well.
same spot, and it's like, oh, it's awesome to see it just like that. that that's cool to see, but I'm talking like it's not one of those. It's a bam bam type thing. So
But it really can strike the same place
yeah,
more than once.
yeah,
Like if you're in its way, it doesn't care.
yeah, it doesn't.
And super bolts, I think that's the correct term for it. Is it super bolts? It's the one that's like the supercharged lightning bolt that is like so much worse than a regular bolt because there was one that hit Tulsa last year, I believe, and it was, hold on.
I love like when a strike, like when I'm outside and a strike hits nearby and the thunder that comes right after it that like shakes your houses.
Yeah.
Those are awesome.
Super bolt lightning is an exceptionally intense, rare lightning strike that releases 1,000 times more energy and are brighter than typical lightning, making up less than 0.0045% of all flashes. These often positive charges generally occur over water in the northern hemisphere, unless it's Tulsa. Bless.
Yeah. Uh, um I love the breakdown that DOT gave us, which is what I'm looking at right now, just to kind of like see what to talk about. The last like the kind of like the last segment, um, she has is forecast one banter and stuff. So, um, we'll do. I guess I'm not really sure what DOT meant by it because it has my take versus Mandy's, but our, like our different takes on what I don't know. And then there's a couple different scenarios on there that we can run through as well once she returns. Um, what do we have? I do want to circle back though and talk about this weekend, or the end of this week in this weekend's system because it's very dependent on the day before. So, like we said, Thursday is about the opening day. It's the initial development starting in Nebraska and Kansas that'll drop south. Friday is more targeting the Oklahoma, Tulsa, OKC area with a boundary that could stall, um, which that could increase the potential for a widespread severe event, but it could also make it messy. Now, the weekend is highly dependent on the leftovers of Friday, how quickly the stuff from Friday can clear out, um, and whatnot. If it doesn't clear out fast enough, we kind of have a lower end event on the weekend. If it leaves boundaries, if they leave boundaries left over, then we've got a more um probably more significant event just because they've got the boundaries to latch onto and kind of form off of. So, like I said, the end of this week and weekend is very dependent on. It's almost kind of dependent on Thursday. If storms don't form on Thursday, then it's more of a okay. So does Friday have anything to go off of? Because if storms don't form Thursday, there's no boundary for storms to form off of for Friday. Oh, I
Agreed.
relayed back to that while you were gone, but she does have the forecast one banter of my take versus yours. She didn't specify on what, so I don't know if she means this week's setup and system or what.
Do you want me to ask her?
You can, or we could leave it up to the people at home. Doesn't matter. If you
Leave it
wanna
up to the people.
leave it up to the people, we'll do that. That way we don't have to let her out of timeout, because then she'll say bite me again, and then we've got bigger issues. So, she does have one on here though. Who would survive a tornado better, you or me?
Um,
I think
I
that's
have survived three, so me.
yeah. I haven't been in a tornado, so I think that one's just based off of we both have tornado shelters. So at that point, I think it just depends on the intensity of the tornado.
Yeah.
That one's very subjective to a lot of things. Who's the biggest storm drama queen?
Dot.
Yeah. Yeah, she is. But I think it means out of us two. um
I tend to be more conservative,
I try
but I
to
also I
I
also can argue. Uh, there's somebody who's the biggest drama queen. There's somebody who is the biggest drama queen that comes to mind, but I will not say it on air. But it is neither you nor me. But I know you know who I'm talking about. Actually, there's three I can think of, but
Okay. I'm not
I know you know who
necessarily
I'm thinking about.
dramatic. I keep it real in my
Yeah.
streams. Obviously, there are times where it's not being dramatic, it's being real. Like if you have a PDS tornado warning or tornado emergency, it's not being dramatic to say you can't accidentally survive it. You have to try. You know,
No, that's not being dramatic. That's
those
being literal
those are the
because
tornadoes. When you get a PDS, which is a particularly dangerous situation, that's the
which is a
highest level tornado warning they can issue. Because tornado
before
emergency
tornado
is, well,
emergency.
that's emergency though. PDS
Yeah.
tornado warning. It goes tornado warning, PDS tornado warning, and then you have your tornado emergency. It's not dramatic to say you can't accidentally survive this. You're not going to survive this hiding in your pantry. You have to try to survive
You
this tornado.
most definitely will not survive that if you're under an overpass.
Yeah. I mean, and Ryan Hall, he does the same thing. If you get a tornado like that, he says you can't accidentally, you have to try to survive this tornado. And it's true. Uh, there's a reason they're under those upgraded and more rare warnings. It's because it's a life threatening situation.
But I also think that both are underused, and it's partially because of the criteria that they have to follow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they're also very hesitant on issuing them.
Yeah. I will say the PDS tornado warning could be used a little more often. Tornado emergency, not so much because those don't happen very often. But PDS, yes, those could get issued a little more often than what they do. But
There's been some instances where I've seen that a tornado, like a PDS tornado warning, has met the criteria for a tornado emergency. But at the same point, it's kind of like potato potato.
yeah,
Or one of my best friends, when I had moved to Michigan from Kentucky, she got so mad at me because I corrected saying maters and taters to tomatoes and potatoes. And I remember her saying, damn it, Mandy, it's maters and taters, get it right. And it's kind of like the same principle when it comes to that. They're both life changing
yeah,
tornadoes,
yeah. I will
and you
agree.
have to try to survive it.
I will agree. There have been some PDS tornado warnings that have, in my opinion, met the requirements for a tornado emergency, but weren't issued. And they issue those tornado emergencies when they think that catastrophic damage could happen, or if it's headed into a heavily, heavily populated area. If they see a tornado Take more, for example. That tornado, that was the first tornado emergency ever issued, was
Was it more?
the 99 Bridge Creek Moor. Or it was the first tornado emergency they issued. I don't know if it was the first one ever issued, but that was one of those things where it was they saw it live and they said that's gonna cause major destruction, loss of life. But there have been times where the tornado wasn't even that strong. It was just the radar signature that it showed that issued it. I remember, I think it was last year in Iowa, they issued a
Yeah, it was
tornado
more.
emergency for an EF1 tornado, but it's because the signature it showed. It was like a mile and a half, 2 mile wide wedge EF1 tornado, but the radar signature that it showed that it was much worse than what it was. So they issued it, but
But
they
if you're
didn't
looking
know.
either way, that's still going to be a significant tornado. Like if you've got,
Yeah.
you're literally, if it's that big, you're literally walking into like a wall of darkness. Like
Well,
you're
and the thing with
walking
this
into
one
a
was
wall, not realizing, oh, hey, that's actually the tornado.
it probably had gate to gate winds on radar of 180 miles an hour, but it didn't hit anything. It stayed out in rural Iowa, so it didn't hit anything. So it didn't hit anything worth getting a high rating than EF1. It probably knocked over some trees and power lines, and that was it. But
But
just
even
the
then, that's also
signature,
argumentative because, and they couldn't see what was being hit,
yeah.
like they're not, if it's a rural area, they're going to take, they're going to do less observations because,
Mhm.
and I say this in the most blunt way, there are less houses in the rural areas and there's like more farming land, and they don't take into consideration that while yes, this tornado could have been, this huge, and it should have been a tornado emergency even though it was in a rural area, and they're going, well, there's not enough people out there for it to matter.
Yeah.
There's still someone there that they need to take seriously. Someone's going to have a bad day if all of their cows is like launched over into the next county.
Yeah. If
There's,
we have a real
there's
life,
still
yeah, we have a twister scenario where we've got, Joe down the street, we've got cows. And then a cow
like straight up.
flies by his window.
Or in Javi and Kate's in the new one, chickens.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's all relative and subjective.
But I really think that they need to take more consideration into rural areas, and it's they need to be able to see, what's going on, and that damage, just a damage based scale isn't necessarily a good thing anymore,
Yeah.
especially for the rural areas.
And I'm sure there have been times where I've been live and I've covered tornadoes that were on the ground, but just because they were out in the rural area, there was no correlation coefficient drop. They weren't picking up anything that radar was scanning to signify anything. There have been times where there have been tornadoes on the ground that no chasers on that the radar couldn't even pick up. Because when you get those radar confirmed tornado warnings, they're not confirming it off the velocity because that's not how that works. You can't just do that.
they're
Because
they're
then,
confirming it 4 different ways.
yeah, they're confirming it
Like
off
there's
of
there's like
different radar scans and types. The big one being the correlation coefficient. That's scanning in the atmosphere
correlation coefficient,
differential.
relative storm velocity.
Does it What about the differential? Does it confirm it
Yeah, the
off that?
differential, and then the relative,
Relative
reflective.
reflectivity?
Blah, I can't even talk.
Because the correlation coefficient that radar is scanning in the storm, it's scanning the sizes of raindrops, hailstones, and when you have a velocity couplet and you go look at the correlation coefficient and you have a drop there, then you're signifying, okay, so the radar is picking up something bigger than the tennis ball size hail. It's picking up a tree limb. It's picking up a shingle
Which
from
is
a
also
house,
why you'll hear
a two by
people
four.
talk about scattershot
Yeah,
on the coefficient. The You see that, you pretty much know it's some big hail that's getting shot.
yeah.
It's not.
You can also tell if a storm has big hail or a lot of hail if you get a scatter spike.
Yep.
That's the radar scanning, and it's scanning. It's thinking the storm is farther north than it actually is, or in a certain direction, because of either very large hail or copious amounts of smaller hail. So the radar scans, you see the storm, and you got this like weird little outreach little thing poking on the side of be like, it's not even raining here, and you could live underneath and it's not even raining. Well, that's a scatter spike. Meaning when the radar scanned, there's either so much small hail or a bunch of large hail
Birds.
or birds that it confuses the radar, thinking the storm is bigger than it is. And it's very interesting to watch that over
Yeah.
multiple scans get bigger and bigger. I've covered it live one time where the scatter spike was very tiny and it turned into like being twice the size of the storm itself. And
Yeah.
that thing was
Like
dropping lots of
three
hail.
mile, 3 mile, 3 mile. You call it the scatter spike, which is
Hmm.
probably the correct term for it. I always call it scatter shot.
Yeah. Scatter spike, scatter shot. Same difference. Tomato, tomato.
Either way, it's not good. If you,
No.
especially
No.
either way, it's
Especially if
not
you
good.
live under the storm itself. It's
Yeah.
not good. Um, well, DOT had the bonus segment, but we don't have any of it yet. You might, but I don't. Any of the cups or anything. She has it as the Hail Yeah merch moment. Showed the glowing cups, tied in storms. I don't have mine yet. You might have one or not. I don't know.
I
Show off
do.
real quick.
This is like one of the original ones that was made, which is the Hell Yeah cup. And it glows in the dark. And if you look, when you shake it, it's like a lava lamp on the side, so you can like literally see
Heck yeah.
hail,
And then you do have the severity scale cup, right? Boom. So
which also has hail on the lid.
sweet. Those would be so cool. I can't wait to get mine. I can't
Eh,
wait.
and an unrelated note, I also have this one because I am and will always be obsessed with Hello Kitty. Not even playing because my iPad cover, my iPad case,
Oh man.
my actual AirPod case is also Hello Kitty cappuccino thing. I actually have a Hello Kitty Starbucks stuffy in my room.
Oh
Yeah, actually, and also on my arm. It's the one of the last pictures that my mom drew before she passed away. She was obsessed with cows and Hello Kitty. So
that's great.
that's the reason why I love Hello Kitties and cows so much is
Oh,
because my
we
mom.
we love it. Love it over here. Oh man,
I
I
mean,
can't
she did.
wait.
I mean, she passed away in Omaha, Nebraska.
Oh damn.
So ironically,
Man, you got beef with Omaha then, don't you? Oh
no.
no.
But when I worked for Driveline, the hospital that she passed away in actually got converted into a comfort suites that we got put in, and the buffet was the emergency room. And the floor we got put on was the same floor that my mom died on.
Ooh, that's weird. That's wow.
Yeah. Like I don't need like I can't explain it. But that was a very bad day for me and I could not drive.
Mm, yeah.
And that was from us coming back from South South Dakota, Mount Rushmore. Our stop to go into Philadelphia was in Omaha. Our first stop was in Omaha, and that's the hotel they put us in.
Oh my.
But we were also on the road nonstop for 2 whole years, no breaks.
Ugh.
But some of our favorite time was actually in Philadelphia. and Orlando, Florida, and Gatlinburg. But Gatlinburg is just, I got to celebrate my birthday for once in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, which is one of my favorite towns because I grew up in Kentucky and we used to go to Gatlinburg like every weekend. And yeah, getting to fly in a helicopter, not an emergency hospital trip version, but actually, riding in a helicopter voluntarily,
Mm-hmm.
um, was like one of the coolest experiences that I ever got to see. And then I got to see the pirate show, and that was so awesome. Especially when it completely ran over the time because the brand new seal that they had just like completely stole the show for a solid 2 hours, and they couldn't get the seal off the stage. So then they just decided, well, the show must go on, so we're just going to dance around the seal. And then you would randomly see it just like jump in the water and then jump back on stage, and it would scare the crap out of the dancers, and you would watch them literally just bounce away, and it just made it even more funny to me. But it was an awesome experience, and that was also the hotel. Shout out to the hotel that we stayed at during that time, because they had an instance where there was a snake that like a snake that someone had brought that got loose and like got through a vent, and
Oh.
they were trying to find the snake. And then there was also a goat that was found in a room.
Okay.
It was not our team. It was somebody else. But the front desk, when you make friends with people, especially when you're there for 5 weeks, will tell you stories. And shout out to them. And that was little Quinta in Pigeon Forge. So if you ever needed La Quinta, sponsor me. Just kidding, but no. And all jokes aside, like if you ever stay in Gatlinburg and you're looking for a hotel, stay at that La Quinta because the staff there is absolutely amazing and funny as hell.
Oh, perfect. I'll take note of
If
that. um.
you want the ultimate Gatlinburg experience, stay in one of the cabins. Um, Definitely, my personal suggestion is if you want to go see Gatlinburg, go not in the middle of summer because traffic jams in the middle of spring can be up to 2 hours getting to the mountain.
mm.
So there's my random banter for the show.
Yeah. Um. Well, that's all that DOT had. Well, for her breakdown, anyway. Actually, let me go look, make sure. Yeah, that's all that she had. So, don't know if you got anything else to add or not.
Not that I can think of, but I guarantee you at some point I will literally send you a message tonight, be like, "Oh, we totally forgot to talk about this."
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. That's okay though. It's part of the podcast. Unstable people, unstable atmosphere. Okay.
Except I don't have energy drinks because now all energy drinks give me heart palpitations. I just have ramen, a lot of ramen and salt because I'm a POTS patient. And I'm not meaning,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
420. I'm like
Hmm.
POTS,
Yeah.
POTS.
Yeah. I know what you mean. I had a person in my class
I
that
wanted
had
to
it.
clarify for the I wanted to clarify
For the
for
people at home.
for the people. I'm not saying
Yeah.
the ramen is not because of 420. Just
um.
saying.
Something we should have figured out before we did this, but um. Oh, I'm gonna have to be creative with this editing because I want to do something for for it, but I don't know how. I'm gonna have to figure out how to do it, and I might message you
What do you
once
want
they're
to
done.
do?
Well, I
I
think
want us to do like one of our streams. I want to do like so try not to laugh
yeah,
storm like weather edition
oh,
video because I think that would just be funny,
we're screwed.
especially have Amy and Matt involved.
We're screwed.
And-
We're so screwed. Oh my. Oh
which
boy.
I will fail every try not to laugh challenge as it is.
Yeah. One of these days when we get Matt in here, that's gonna be hilarious. He's so funny. When I helped
If
him on
we
his
ever have a meetup, then we need to do the tortilla challenge or bring the random item in.
those are funny. Well, if you don't have anything else to add, and I don't have anything else to add,
Not anything that I can think of,
yeah, I think this will wrap up the first episode.
especially because my bladder is killing me
And I'm really
and
thirsty.
people keep ringing my doorbell. So,
Yeah.
not even
So
joking.
we never agreed on something to say at the end of this. So
Bitty bitty beep beep. That's all, folks.
bam, she's gone. Oh. Oh man. Nope, but this was fun and I
Yeah, it
guarantee it
was.
will continue to be fun.
It will continue to be fun. I can't guarantee it'll be any more censored than it was today because I can probably guarantee that it's going to be less, at least for the podcast.
Yeah.
For live for severe weather coverage, that's a totally different scenario.
Yeah.
We will try to be not unhinged,
Yeah.
but sometimes intrusive thoughts win.
Yeah. And sometimes it's just straight up the name of the town or county is just a little like, that's funny. And then it snowballs from there. So, um, yeah, like I said, if you
Tightwad.
don't, oh my god,
Like, that's one of them.
mhm. I remember you messaged me that. I'm like, what? I'm like, what?
And then I literally looked up this, and then I literally looked it up. I'm like, oh my God, there really is a tight, which made me laugh even harder.
But the fact that I was in Oklahoma too.
Was it in Oklahoma? I thought it was in Illinois.
I thought it was in Oklahoma. Maybe it's not Oklahoma.
I think it's Illinois. No, not
Missouri.
Missouri.
Tightwad, Missouri.
Yeah, Tightwad Village in Missouri. Population of 60. That's a tight wad of people.
They probably know everybody too.
That's like okay, I gotta cut off here because I hear yelling with my headphones in. So hey, apparently that plate tightwad is like 4 hours from me.
Oh, weekend trip. Visit a town that's
Just to take
probably doesn't even have a gas station. Um, but yeah, guys, like I said, I don't have anything right now to add. Um, she doesn't either. So I think we'll wrap up the first episode of the Hail Yeah podcast here. Hopefully
thank
you
you
enjoyed
for
the
watching our insanity.
yeah.
We
Hopefully you
hope
guys
y'all
enjoyed
we hope y'all enjoyed
the the unstable
shit show.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. We'll be back. I don't know.
I'm behind the scenes.
We'll be back. I don't know. We'll talk after this and
Yeah.
figure out when we'll be back. But um, it's been fun. It's been real. Um,
That's Colton. We're live.
awesome. I love them. They look amazing. um, but yeah, this has been Hail Yeah. What?
She said she's the. What the hell was that? You know, we get together.
Oh man.
Oh my god.
But yeah, this has been Hail Yeah.
Thank you for watching. Hell yeah. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.